What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's beautiful project, the Subaru Impreza 22B, modded in by Ken Ross PL, looking absolutely fantastic. Well, not looking quite so fantastic right at this moment in time, but hopefully by the end of today's video, this is going to look pretty impressive. But we need to stop for a moment and say a huge congratulations to Heretic with the Porsche Carrera GT. Absolutely looking beautiful in that blue and white combination. Beautiful, beautiful work there, my friend. Absolutely fantastic. But the next competition has already started. We're working on Payne's modded Honda S2000. There was 5 to choose from. That is the one that won. So come and join us. Link in the description below on the Red Dot Games official Discord server. Take part in the competition and build your own Honda S2000 and make your way onto my beautiful pinboard and in the Hall of Fame for the Discord. That's enough of that, though. Let's crack on with this beautiful Subaru Impreza. Let's take a look at what we've got here. We're on the engine already. Didn't mean to start there. It's the Subaru Impreza 22B. It's just a standard edition. There is only one, and sadly, it is a rear-wheel drive instead of all-wheel drive. I can't help you with that. That's just the way it was created by our friend here, Ken Ross. But let's have a look. It's from the auction house, and it's in terrible, terrible condition. That is absolutely awful. I love it. We're going to have a lot of fun putting this one back together today. Did we get a good deal? No, but we did pay very, very little for it. I only bought it for $2,643 and could sell it for $2,162, only losing out on $481. And we're not going to be hitting the drag strip again today. So we won't be able to claw that back with some drag strip winnings. We're taking this one to the gravel track, being that it is a rally car. But what engine have we got in this one? What have we got to work with today? It's the B6 MA 1.03 engine, 320 factory horsepower. We will obviously pitting all of the performance parts in this one today, making it as incredibly quick as we can and hoping to get this one, even though it's only rear-wheel drive, around that gravel track in a very good time. Maybe even topping our new gravel track lap times board. Who knows? Can we beat the Land Rover Defender at a 148.141 for the flying lap? As you can see, though, the engine is missing. And if I'm being honest, I think most of the engine bay is missing as well. And this one is feeling very sorry for itself. So let's get it started. Let's get it over to the car wash. Let's get it cleaned up. Well, here we are in the car wash. We already can see it's blue. So let's just get it cleaned and see what kind of blue we've got going on here. Probably not what I'm going to stick with. I think I might be going a little bit darker. This is in such a bad condition. You could barely even see it. This is a very light blue. We definitely won't be sticking with that. Let's get the interior done. Let's get this one back on the lift. Get everything stripped down that's left anyway. And then we can start putting this beautiful Subaru all back together. Normally at this point, we'd have the car up in the air, checking for the oil pan, draining the oil, things like that. But we have no engine. And we also have nothing in the engine bay. So let's just see what should be in here. Obviously, at the front, we've got the big old radiator. Then there's a power steering reservoir, fuse box just down here, and a coolant reservoir there. We do have a large intercooler, which I do believe is underneath, obviously. Then we've got an air filter base just here, wishy-washy reservoir over there, and the brake servo just behind all of that inside the engine bay. As we go a little bit further back, we've got the ECU Type B in the middle. And then down at the back, we've got the battery, the fuel tank, obviously missing the fuel pump as well, and missing all of the exhaust front to back. But I am reliably informed that this doesn't connect because of the engine type. We're going to let it slide. It's just one of them things. It doesn't connect up. It just stops there, and the engine stops there. Also, this engine's got turbos on it, which I love, as you know, but they do clip in to this front suspension cross member. It is just what it is, one of them things. But anyway, there we go. We've got no liquids to drain or anything like that today, so I'm just going to crack on, get all of this suspension stripped out, and then when we come back, it'll be time to sort this beautiful Subaru's bodywork out. That's all the mechanicals repaired, replaced, or upgraded, ready to go back together for this beautiful little Subaru Impreza. But now we need to sort this bodywork. It's in very bad condition. So let's start getting it off, at least what we can see anyway. Front end, is that a piece, or is that just... That's just connected to the frame. The door is a piece. Side skirts, no, they are not a piece. No, no, no. Trunk with spoiler, one piece. Rear bumper, also coming out of there. The side skirt wasn't a piece. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Rear window, I always miss them. And no, no, no. So let's just jump in and grab out this interior then. Out you come and out you come. Is it both seats? It is meant to be both seats. We are just missing one. Now, is that everything? That was a very quick strip down. 1% on there. And nothing in there. We have got everything. The frame is at 11%, and I bought the car for a little over $2,500. So what do we reckon it's going to cost to repair this one today? I'm not going to think a lot. I'm gonna go bang in the middle, 750, 500. Not quite getting it, but there we go, not far off. Get the frame all sorted out, and while we're here, let's see what we've got for the body shop. Only the 2 pages for this one. Obviously, your standard front bumper. Then we've got a carbon front bumper, carbon foil bumper. I'm not sure. We'll have to check that one out. Kevlar bumper and a Kevlar foil bumper. Then the doors and windows and fenders. That can't be changed. They are just what they are. Then you got a few different options for the hood. The normal hood, carbon hood, or the Kevlar hood. We will have a look and see what the Kevlar stuff looks like, but probably not what I'm going to go for. Do have some headlight options and some mirror options. Probably going to go for the carbon ones on there, I feel like. One tail light. Rear bumpers, same choices as the front bumpers. Carbon, carbon foil, Kevlar, and Kevlar foil. Windows, the same headlight option. Same mirror options. Tail light, and then some trunk options with, didn't mean to click on that, with like a carbon spoiler, full carbon trunk, so on and so forth. So we might have to have a little play and see what we like the best. But let's get this beast back together. Now that frame's all sorted out. Then we can get it into the paint shop and pick a colour. I'm realising that this is a deep metallic blue. I don't know if it's what we're going to go for. We'll have to have a look when we're in the paint shop. So I need to get all that sorted. I'll see you in a bit. Time to get our little Scooby all back together, so let's just get started. I've got a couple of hoods just so I can show you. We've got the Kevlar hood in there, looking very bright and in your face. Not what we're going with today, but I just wanted you guys to see it. But we are going for the carbon hood. I think it actually looks pretty good on there. The front bumper is the normal front bumper, but I've kept the Kevlar foil one on, just so you can see what it does. The normal Kevlar one goes all the way to the edges, and obviously the normal carbon one goes all the way to the edges. Then the Kevlar and carbon foil come down to here, which lines up pretty well with the hood. So they've done a pretty good job of that. But again, not quite what we're going for today. So back off you come there, and let's just stick back on the normal front bumper. For the headlights today, we've gone for the lens headlights, which are the B options. Looking pretty good on there. The fenders are just the fenders, so on you go and on you go. Back around to this side, on with the door, which it is just what it is, along with all of the windows. So in they go. And then for the mirrors, you can go for carbon, Kevlar, or standard. We've gone for the carbon, sort of keeping on a bit of that carbon theme in there. Let's get around and get the other side all in and ready to go. In you go, in you go. On with that carbon mirror. Then back around to the back, we've got the rear window, obviously just what it is. For the trunk, we went for the carbon spoiler, normal trunk with the carbon spoiler, just for a bit more of that carbon on there. And the tail lights are just what they are, so they go back on along with that rear bumper as well. We just kept it in the normal one, no foil or Kevlar or anything like that on there. Looking pretty good. For the license plates today, we just went with Scooby on the VM plates, because I've always known a Subaru as the Scooby-Doo. So we're going to call this one Scooby. Looking pretty good on there. Let's jump in and grab this interior, get all of this in. We have swapped the seats, kept them in the same style with the 11, but I swapped them to the 11A. So we've got that chance for a bit of alternate colour in the middle if we want it. And I did also swap the steering wheel to the Mayan M3. I just like it. I think it's a bit of a better fitting steering wheel. Now, have we got everything? 100%, 100%, 100%. Fantastic. Let's get this one into the paint shop, ready for a new lick of paint. Well, this is what we've gone for today on our beautiful Scooby. We've gone for quite a medium blue, I would say, on there. We've done it in the pearl, so it's a bit lighter than it would be everywhere else. Looking pretty good in the pearl blue, though, especially with the carbon fiber accents. Just adding in a little bit of black. Really liking that. And obviously the interior, we've done some blue on the seats in there and a bit of blue on the steering wheel, which then matches it in with all of the blue on the inside anyway. Looking very, very nice. Very pleased with that. The engine bay is blue with that big red bar. And I think we're going to keep the wheels gold. So we're going to have a few gold accents dotted in. A little bit of red, a little bit of blue. And obviously, definitely some black in there to match in with that carbon fiber. But I think it's looking great. What do you guys think? Do let me know. Would you do it a different colour? Let me know what you would do in the comments below. But let's get this beast back on the lifter so I can get everything else painted. Then we can start getting it all back together. That's everything painted on our little Scooby. So now let's start getting it back together. Starting with the shocks. We got black shocks, red springs, and black caps. We've already seen a little bit of red in the engine bay for that strut bar. So hopefully this will blend in just a little bit. There is going to be a little bit of red dotted around everywhere. But mostly it's going to be blue and gold with a little bit of black in there as well. We'll start with the large intercooler at the top in the engine bay, which is in the gold, a big old piece up at the top there. Then we've got the front suspension cross member also in gold. Let's get the bushings in now so that we don't forget them. In you go, and in you go there. If I could get it, I don't know what's going on with my mouse there. Steering rack is also in a gold, and the front sway bar also in the gold there. So a lot of gold down the center of this one. But let's start getting some of the other bits in. The inner tie rod is in a red. We've got the front steering knuckle in a black on there, with the outer tie rod also in that gold, looking pretty good. The bottom and upper suspension arms are both in the blue, looking very nice. That's the pearl blue that is on the body, or a very, very close match to it, at least, should we say. So in you go there, looking nice. On with that shock that we've already seen, sort of blending it all in with the blacks, looking nice. Sway bar end link, also in a black there, because, you know, it goes a bit metallic-y. Didn't want to do it in the blue. Could have done it in the gold, but I felt like a little bit of black was all right in there. Knuckle cover is in the gold, with the front wheel hub in a black, looking pretty good. And let's crack on. We've got the wheel hub bearing. If I could click on it, the brake disc, on you go there. The hubcap is in a gold with the brake pad on, and then the brake caliper in a lovely red, a little bit lighter. This red is about 90, and then the brake caliper is about 100, or is 100 on the brightness, just to sort of try and get them to match in a little bit. We'll have to check the rest of it a little bit later on, but there we go. That's the front. Let's get down the back and get this all together, starting with that cross member in the gold. Then we've got some rubber bushings, one there and one just up there. Let's get them in. Sway bar, in you go. We've done that one in a red down the back, just on the gold. It looked a little bit weird when we did it in the gold on that main piece. Then we got the rear knuckle in a black. Then we've got another little bushing just down here. In you go. Don't need any bolting on that one, but then you do need to put a bolt on it for the rear axle arm. So on you go there. Looking quite nice in the blue. This arm is also in the blue at the top, and then the bottom arm just down here. That one is also in a bit of blue. Looking very nice on there. Then we've got the side arm, which we've done that one in a black. Looking pretty good. I didn't want it to be too over the top in a red or something like that. And the rear shock is also in a black, matching in with the front. Looking quite nice. The last rubber bushing in there. And let's crack on with the front of this. The spring cap's in a black, with the sway bar end link also in a black on there. Then we've got the rear spring in a red, same as the front, with the cap on the top, also in a black, the same as the front. The knuckle cover is in the gold again, and then the wheel hub is in a black. On you go, with the rear drive axle also in a black. Once we've got that bearing in, there we go. In you go. Then we've got the brake disc, brake pad, and the brake caliper to go on there, really finishing it off. Looking quite nice. You can really see the colour in the red at the back here. It's just a bit more light than it is at the front. But looking very nice. Lots of colours in there. Looking good. Then we've got the fuel tank. In you go. Just blacked out. Fuel pump is in a dark red. Hopefully trying to match it in. It's still got a bit of brightness to it, but that's the plasticiness of the part. And we'll throw the battery in down the back while we're here, because we've got it on us. Then I'm going to crack on and get the rest of the suspension all finished. Then we'll move on to that engine bay, where we've got a few little colours before we go and build that beautiful boxer engine. There we go, all finished in mostly blue and gold, with a few splashes of red and a little bit of black in there, just for good measure. Looking beautiful. Very, very pleased with that. But more importantly, what do you guys think? Do let me know in the comments below. What would you change if you were to change a few pieces on this? Do let me know. Love to hear from you. But let's get on and get this engine bay all sorted. All sorted. Starting with that power steering reservoir. Then we've got the coolant reservoir just up here. Brake servo down the back with the ECU Type B Stage 3 just dotted in under the seat, I'm assuming. I don't really know where that quite fits, but it's in there somewhere. Then we've got the wishy-washy reservoir just in here. And then we've got the air filter base, which is in a red, same as the fuse box, in with the air filter. And let's get the cover on. And then we've got some beautiful gold clips just going around the edge of this one, and looking very nice. Keeping with that gold theme with the splash of red, and I am quite liking it. In you go there. Let's get you on. Then we got the big old radiator at the front, which is in at the gold, same as everything else in the gold. Looking very nice. And then we've got the fan kit, mostly in a black, but with two chrome gold fans on there. Looking very, very nice. Pleased with that one. That's about it. We need to go and build that beautiful engine. And next, though, obviously we've got the exhaust to do, but that will come a little bit later. I think it's looking pretty good in there. The reds aren't too far off from the red on that strut bar. They look very good. But now, let's go and build the beautiful boxer engine. The other side's already done, so we're going to stick on this side for a minute. The engine block comes in two parts, both of which are in a blue. Then the engine heads are in a black, and the oil pan underneath is just in a blue. You do have to get tucked in nice and tight underneath to get the rod caps and crankshaft caps in there, just to get them all fitted in. But let's crack on and see what we've got going inside the engine heads here. We've got two camshafts for each side, obviously, so it's 4 camshafts in the total. They each have a cam gear on the end. You can't see them because we've got the cover on and everything. And we've got 3 spark plugs on either side, along with 6 camshaft caps for either side as well. So you need to crack on and getting all of that done. I'm going to get mine in, and I'll see you in a sec. There we go. That's that all taken care of, all sorted. But now we need to get to the inner bits in. As I say, it's already done on the other side. You do have a timing chain and then 2 lovely shoes on each side. So that's 4 timing shoes and 2 timing chains in total to go in there. Then we can get the timing cover on, which we've kept in a black, sort of keeping with that blue-black theme as it stands at the moment. Then we've got a timing cover just down here. Kept that one in the black as well, along with the water pump in a lovely gold. But on top of that, the water pump pulley is in a black, looking very nice on there. Crankshaft pulley is also in a black, on you go. And the last idle roller just up there, also in a black, looking quite nice. We'll be able to get some colour on here in a bit. In fact, let's get started. Let's get this engine head cover on, which is in the gold, looking very nice. Very pleased with how this all turned out in the gold, looking fantastic. The ignition coils, they are a painted red, but they're still very similar to the red that comes on them as standard. So it's not too bad if you want to recreate this one. Not too hard to get them reds matched in. Oil fills are up here, also in a deep red. And the oil fill tube in a black, looking very nice. The alternator in gold, beautiful on there, loving that. Let's get the belt on, which we have blacked out. We do also have a belt tensioner that's also blacked out on the front here, but the power steering pump is also blacked out. Looking very nice. Just a bit of black down the centre there. I did try this in gold, but it looked totally different to the rest of the golds, so we changed it and went back to black. Then we've got the intake manifolds. These are in a red, and they're in a very, I don't even know what to call that colour, I think it's a pearl colour, but it's not meant to be. It is a standard gloss. All the reds on this engine are exactly the same. They don't always work out that way. Fuel rails are in a gold. Looking very nice on there. Let's get the other side up to the same spot. In you go. And then on with that fuel rail if we can get it. There we go. Then we've got the throttle up the middle, which is in a gold, but you still get some of them red details on there. It looks beautiful. And then this pipe, if only it went a little bit blacker, I would have been very happy. It's just got a little bit of greyness to it, which is a bit of a shame compared to all the other blacks, which are looking very, very black. We're almost finished with this engine. It's got a fuel filter to go on down here. That is the same colour as all the other reds on the engine. And then we've got the turbos, which are in gold, but you do get some of the red details still on them. Looking absolutely fantastic. Let's get the other turbo on. In you go. And let's get you bolted up and get ready to drop this beautiful engine into our beautiful Subaru Impreza. So let's get it off the stand and let's get it in there. Hopefully, it's going to look pretty good. I'm not sure. Let's get it in. In you go. Get the crane put away. It's a bit low down, but I can see the reds. As I say, the red on these parts is totally different to the rest of the reds, but it still looks very good. I'm impressed with that in there. Quite liking that. Let's get a bit of torch on it just so we can see what's going on. All the golds are looking fantastic. Incredibly pleased with that. And let's get you up in the air because we've still got a few bits left to go. We've got the main drive shaft, gearbox, starter, and all of that exhaust, which I did not mean to click on to go in. So let's get started. Now here we have got a bit of clipping. I did say earlier the turbos clip through that cross member, which is a bit of a shame, but we kept them in the gold together so they don't look too bad. Gearbox on you go in a sort of a body match blue on there. It's a bit funny with the performance gearboxes. They're like a totally different material to everything else. So it's a bit harder to match the colour. This is nice though, the steering rack going through the gearbox, making it look like it's meant to be there. Looking quite good. On with the starter, we kept that one in the gold at the top. Just looking nice in there. Then we've got the drive shaft, which we've just blacked out. Thought that one might have been a bit too much if we did that one in gold as well. In you go. And then we've got the rest of the exhaust all in the gold, going right the way down through. Hopefully looking beautiful. Let's just get the last piece on. And then let's take a step away and see how good this looks. The matching there, that's not bad. The main block is a little bit darker by the looks of that, but everything else looks pretty good. When you put a light on it, you can't really tell the difference. As I said earlier, the exhaust doesn't match up because it should be coming out the turbos and into the exhaust, but it is what it is. And then we've got that gold piece going all the way down through, looking absolutely fantastic on there. Really loving that. But let's get you down on the ground. We need to get the liquids topped up, windows tinted, wheels done, and then get this beautiful car outside in the sun. There she is then, all finished. The beautiful Subaru Impreza 22B by Ken Ross PL. Looking absolutely fantastic. Link in the description below if you want to grab this one for yourself. It does look pretty good, especially in the blue and gold. This isn't the same blue and gold that's classed as factory. I've changed mine totally and made it completely different because that's what we do here. But let's talk about these rims anyway. I went for the rim of 4 today, and you can see it's got off-road tyres on it, ready for the gravel track in just a little while. The rim 4 is what we went for. These are a 19-inch rim with a 225 width and a 35 profile on there, looking pretty good. They are the same on all 4 corners. We did them obviously in a gold, and the gold matches in with all of the other gold parts on the car, looking absolutely fantastic. But let's jump inside and check out this interior. Looking pretty good in here with some of the carbon fiber metal panels on the door, and then obviously this checkerboard plating at the bottom there. There's where the ECU sits, right in the middle of the center console. Missed it earlier, but it's looking good in here. Let's get it started though and hear that twin turbo boxer engine. Not bad on the tick over. In fact, I quite like that, but let's give it some gas. Definitely sounding a bit meaner at the top end, and the turbo whistles just really finish it off for me. You know how much I enjoy them. But let's get this beast onto the dyno, see what its horsepower will be today, and what its drag rating is. On the dyno, with the Subaru Impreza and its 320 horsepower boxer engine, B6 as it's called there. How much power have we added today with our performance parts? And what will its drag rating be? Even though we're not using it because we're off to the gravel track again. A gain of 283 horsepower, pretty low at only 89% in all honesty. I feel like we could maybe have squeezed a little bit more out of that, but we didn't get any more performance parts. We well and truly used them all, bringing us up to 603 horsepower, which isn't too shabby for our little off-road car. It's not four-wheel drive, it is only rear-wheel drive. But the drag rating we got today was 503, so not bad. I've definitely seen better, but we've all seen a lot worse as well. But let's have a look at the gearbox tuning setup for this one today. Over we go. We've gone for a 3.13 ratio. This did start with 7 gears. I have taken a gear off of it and brought the speeds down just a little bit because we don't need that much top end around the gravel track. We just need to be able to get through the gears nice and easily when we need to. So let's get over onto the track, see what we can do with the beautiful Subaru Impreza. The time to beat for the flying lap was the Land Rover Defender at 1:48.141. Let's see if we can beat it. Well, here we are then on the gravel forest track, and my first bit of advice for this car is do not put any tint on the windscreen whatsoever if you're coming to this track, because you cannot see out of it. So my windscreen has got 0. The side windows have got 50 on them, but the windscreen has got 0. But here we are on the gravel track. You know the drill by now. We do a standing lap from a standing start, obviously, and then a flying lap of the second lap to see how well we can do. And the goal is to beat the Land Rover Defender at 1:48.141. Can we do it? There's only one way to find out. Let's get in. Let's go. Come on, little beautiful Subaru. Let's get off the line. There we go. And let's start heading up towards this first corner. A little bit slidey there. This is quite a sharp left-hand corner. So we're going to slam on the brakes to try and let the car drag us around under a bit of acceleration with a little bit of sliding there as well. That A-pillar is a really bad place. But there we go. We made it through. Now we've got the last right-hander as I crashed into the tree and came to a total standstill. And now we need to carry on around, pulling it slightly to the left and getting over the line. 1:46 from our standing lap. So our standing lap should already be in first place. But the standing lap doesn't count. It's all about that flying lap. I can't believe we hit a tree and still managed to hit 1:46. But there we go. Let's carry on going for this flying lap. See if we can do a little bit better for this one. As we get around, trying to not hit any of them barriers. They might slow us down a little bit on the way out. Back on the power. Gonna let off the acceleration just over the jump, and then a little bit of braking to pull us around to the left. If we can make it back onto the track, have we hit the checkpoint? Oh, that'll be the big decider. If that doesn't tick over to 10, this is good. There we go. We have hit the checkpoint. It's absolutely fine. Sliding a little bit there around that right-hander as we come into the left-hander. Can we get this one to slide us around? Yes, we can. That felt really good. Didn't look very good and wasn't very fast, but it felt good, so we'll call it good. Let's get around to the right, and then we come up to the sort of slightly long left-hander as we go around. Can we get some sliding here as well? We can. Then we're back in to the narrow section. Again, you do not want to clip the banks in this section because it's very easy to roll, so you just want to take it a little bit steady as I go massively wide and come off the track. But we managed to recover it, so it's not too bad. Then where we got to go down to the left inside the forest section without crashing into trending trees if we can avoid it. Back around to the right, and then it's going to pull us back to the left. And this is the bit I struggle with because the sun was right in my eyes and I couldn't see. We did that all right. Can we get around the next part? All right, we can indeed. Into the right-hander that I did mess up on the first lap. We'll try and not do that this time. There we go. Let's carry on down the straight and get this beast across the finish line at a 1:42.242. Absolutely fantastic. This is new speederboard champion for our gravel track speederboard with a 1:42.242 for the flying lap and a 1:46.293 for the standing lap. Definitely very good for the Subaru Impreza. I am very, very impressed. There we have it then. The Subaru Impreza added to the gravel track lap times board, coming in first place. Horsepower of 603. The standing lap already taking the lead at 1:46.293, with the flying lap coming in at 1:42.242. Absolutely fantastic from the beautiful little Subaru Impreza. Really, really have loved this one. But let's get back outside, get ready to say goodbye to the Subaru and see if we can make some money from it. There we have it then, all finished with the beautiful Subaru Impreza 22B, modded in by Ken Ross PL. Link in the description below if you want to grab this one for yourself. Did really well on the gravel track. Our new speederboard champion for that gravel track. Absolutely loving this Scooby. It is a beautiful, in a lovely blue and gold. I mean, come on, we wouldn't really have it any other way, would we? 1:42.242 was its flying lap time on the gravel track, which was very impressive and put it top of that speederboard. But let's talk some facts and figures. I bought the car for 2,643. Yeah, that was it. That's all I paid for this beautiful, beautiful car. And I could have sold it at a loss of 481 at the beginning. Obviously, we didn't do that. We then spent 75,506 upgrading, modifying, tuning, and painting this beautiful, beautiful car you see in front of you today, putting our total spend at 78,149. Will we be able to make some money from this little Subaru Impreza? Let's take a look. Well, there it is, all 100% complete with that engine ramped up from 320 horsepower to 603, a gain of 89%. Would have been happier with a little more, but it's still very good nonetheless and very fun to drive, considering it was rear-wheel drive and not four-wheel drive. So a little bit different than I was anticipating from this one. But the real question is, can we make some profit? We spent 78,149. With a sale of 97,424, we can make some money. In fact, quite a bit. 19,275 from this beautiful Subaru Impreza. And before we go, I just want to show one thing. I absolutely love the layout in the trunk. The little cutout in there for the battery. There's also a cutout underneath for the fuel tank to go in. Looking beautiful. The engine bay is pretty spectacular itself as well. Very, very pleased with it. Love the strut bar across the top. The large intercooler may be a little bit too big for some people, but I think it looks really good done in the gold and blended in with everything else there. Looking amazing. Now, some of the things you will notice, some of the panel gaps, especially on that hood there, pretty bad on both sides. Obviously, the panel gaps on the doors aren't great either, but this car was a lot of fun to build and definitely a lot of fun to drive on that gravel track. So fair play to Ken Ross. Done an absolutely beautiful job. Anyway, it is time to say goodbye to the beautiful Subaru Impreza and get our almost 20,000 profit taken in just there. And then we've got to look at what have we got up next. This is going to make me jump as we run over to the trailer today. Let's find out. Actually, it did all right. There we go. But the next mod is a new mod from Payne. Not even on the workshop yet, I don't think, but will be coming very, very soon. This is the BMW 850, and the one we're working on in the next episode, which is on Wednesday, is the CSI wide body, and it looks pretty mean, if I do say so. We got ours from the auction house, and it's not as bad as the Subaru, but not in great condition, if we're being truly honest. We've got to build this one back up, and then decide whether we're going to hit it on the drag strip or the racetrack, and I'm going to leave that up to you. If you want to see it on the drag strip, just comment drag strip. If you want to see it on the racetrack, comment racetrack. Leave me a comment below. Let me know where you'd like to see us test this one once we finish building it on Wednesday. Did we get a good deal on this one? No, obviously not. I bought it for 15,059 and could sell it for 12,901, losing out on 2,158. Hopefully, we'll be able to claw that back with the build, regardless of whether we do drag strip or racetrack. The engine in this one is the V12, a double overhead cam MRC engine, and it's got 626 factory horsepower. This one's going to be insane by the time we've finished with it. I'm very, very much looking forward to this one. So make sure you join us back here on Wednesday for this beautiful BMW when we get around to it. What did you think of today's build? The beautiful, beautiful Subaru Impreza. What did you think of the gravel track? I absolutely love that gravel track. I think we did all right on it today, if I'm being truly honest. I'm always up for hearing your suggestions. If you do have any suggestions of cars you want to see built, as long as they are modded, let me know in the comments below. Leave a cheeky little like, share this video with your friends, but most importantly, join us back here on Wednesday for another episode of Car Mechanics Simulator. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, whatever it is you're getting up to, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.